Welcome to episode 5. Words matter. Definitions matter. Today we're going to take a look at policy 20. We need policies that are going to be effective rather than causing division. And parents, students, me speaking, we're not causing division. We're just revealing the division that this policy has initiated, and I'm going to read it. It says the Good Spirit School Division, but this would be the same all the way through Saskatchewan. It says Saskatchewan.ca on the bottom. It just, every school division inserts their own little title and name. The Good Spirit School Division subscribes to the fundamental principle that all persons are equal in dignity and rights. The development and implementation of policies, procedures, practices, and programs shall reflect and promote everyone's right to equal concern and respect, and provide an environment that fosters growth, harmony, and equality of opportunities for all students and staff members. Acts of discrimination based on these or other differences protected by law shall not be tolerated in board-operated schools, learning environments, and workplaces. Human diversity includes all how human beings are both similar and different. Respect for diversity means accepting, and we're going to define that word, and respecting differences in people and their unique circumstances. So inclusion is a great concept. Everyone is totally for inclusion in every school, but inclusion has been hijacked by ideologies, and ideologies are a system of ideas and ideals or beliefs. For example, this is an idea. We link pay to performance. The more you contribute, the more you produce, the more you get paid. That's an idea. Another idea is everyone gets paid the same regardless. Now, an ideal is someone's conception of what is perfect. Someone might think the first idea is perfect. Someone else might think the second one is. If one idea is taught and the other is not even allowed to be discussed or questioned, no research allowed to ascertain the pros and cons, then we do not have education. We have indoctrination. Indoctrination is the process of teaching a person or a group to accept a set of beliefs uncritically. At face value, no examination is allowed. And indoctrination should not be taxpayer funded. Now, information comes in two forms. The first is subjective, based on and influenced by personal feelings, tastes, and opinions. We all have subjective information. There is secondarily objective, and it is not influenced by personal feelings or opinions in considering and representing facts. Gravity is an objective information. So according to Policy 20, there is no differentiating between discrimination and disagreement. So discrimination is labeled hate, and it's treated as hate. But when we lose the right to disagree, we lose all rights. We can disagree respectfully and not hate. People do it every day. Respect. The definition of respect is regardless of the different feelings and views of others, we treat everyone with kindness. It doesn't mean that we agree with them. Disrespect is not disagreement. Define discrimination. Okay, this isn't mine. This is from Google. Recognition and understanding of the difference between one thing and another. So far, so good. Unjust or prejudicial treatment. It doesn't say unjust and prejudicial treatment. The Olympics are an extremely prejudicial event, but they are still just. Now, if we base them on equity, and this is going to come up in a minute, rather than equality, this is what it would look like. Everyone would start a race, the same race, in a different position on the track based on their fastest time. And in an utopian ideal world, they would all cross the finish line at the same time. They would all get a gold medal, and no one would watch. Equity may be desirable in certain situations, but it is irrational to teach that it should be a requirement for all situations. And the difference between equity and equality is that if we are free, we are not all equal. We know that. And if we are all equal, then we're not free. So Respect for Human Diversity Policy 2.1.2 says, understanding that equity and inclusive principles apply to everyone. 2.1.3 says students are responsible for using inclusive and respectful language and approaches in all interactions. We have family values. Different families have different values, but I don't know of any family that does not have the value of don't lie. Don't say something that's not true. So if we go back to subjective and objective, not being influenced by personal feelings or opinions in considering and representing facts, pronouns are objective. They're a universal part of speech and they don't belong to any singular person. Now, we're all free to label ourselves how we want, and we can request that someone address us in a certain way. We do not have the right to dictate or force anyone else to come into agreement with our thoughts or feelings. Point 3.4 in Policy 20 says the division will support trustees, staff, and students on human diversity issues and empower them to treat each other with dignity and acceptance. The definition of acceptance is agreement with or belief in an idea, an opinion, or an explanation, and that idea, opinion, or explanation is right. Now, acceptance is not a prerequisite for respect. I can not agree with somebody's opinion. I cannot accept it as right and still respect them. And respect must go both ways. And although the policy states that everyone is to be treated the same, it goes on to discriminate unless you disagree. Point 1.1.4 says all policies, procedures, practices, and programs related to human diversity are monitored and improved to ensure compliance. Forced cooperation. This policy dictates that students be forced to lie about a subjective matter regarding feelings and an objective matter regarding biology. That is disrespectful. It's disrespectful to the students. It's disrespectful to parents and guardians. And it also creates cognitive dissonance, psychological distress when persons participate in an action that goes against what they know to be true. Now, gender is, by its own construct, by its own definition, a construct. It is an idea. It is a feeling. That is not my definition. That is what it's been called. It's been created. It's an idea. It's a feeling. Forcing others to comply with somebody else's feelings and ideas is wrong. If we want to deal with mental health, I think it might be just to offer some positive options rather than forcing people to speak what they don't believe to be true. Let's teach the kids what codependency is. And it's a two-sided coin. The first definition of codependency, or first aspect of it, is taking responsibility for something that you are not. Second facet of it is making others responsible for something they are not. I can't take responsibility for how anyone else feels. And I cannot make anyone else responsible for how I feel. We are responsible for our own actions. We are responsible for our own thoughts. That would be something that would be beneficial to have an inclusive environment in a school. So what other ideas are being taught and no discussion allowed? Well, I'll cover a few of them in the future. But the curriculum is irrelevant if these are the policies that the curriculum has to flow through. Education is not indoctrination.